to TV and Popcorn. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment below. Hi everybody, it is Monica here from tvandpopcorn.com, and I am here with a review for you guys for the Shades of Blue series finale. And let me tell you guys, I really love the Shades of Blue series. The finale's title was By Virtue Fall, and rightfully so, because Jennifer Lopez's character, who is Harlee Santos, fell on the sword for her department and also for everyone else who had been affected by the corrupt intelligence unit. Now, how did I feel overall about the series finale? Now, this is the series finale, guys, which means the show is ending here after season 3. So this is season 3, episode 10, titled By Virtue Fall. If you have not watched this episode, if you have not watched any of season 3, I recommend just going ahead and leaving this review right now and just come back later and let's talk, because here they're going to be spoilers, okay? So how did I feel overall? If I'm going to rate the finale from the scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it somewhere around a 5. I'm kind of sitting in the middle. I didn't love the finale, but I didn't hate it either, I guess you can say. So I'm kind of in between, and I have a few mixed feelings on it. Some things I expected it to go a certain way, and it did, and then some other things did not go the way I thought it would. And so let me see where I can begin with this, because my thoughts are just so messed up as far as how I really feel about the finale. I'm kind of disappointed in Harlee, to be honest with you guys. I appreciate the fact that she wanted to lay on the sword, but I kind of felt like her reasons for laying on the sword was very selfish. Now, she is a woman with a daughter. She's very good at her job, and out of everyone who's committed crimes in her department and in the intelligence unit, she is by far the one who should be falling on the sword. I just felt like it was just, I guess you could say, selfish of her, because she does have a family. But one thing I can give it to Harlee is she's always wanted to do right. So I couldn't quite pinpoint if it was just because she wanted to do right overall, or was it because she just wanted to clear her conscience. Of course, Harlee blames herself for a lot of things, and I think mainly she blames herself for getting involved with Stahl and helping him with his investigation against her own unit, which was rightfully so, but it was done by the wrong person. Stahl was not the right person to do an investigation on anyone, because the guy was insane himself. So I kind of felt like Harlee fell on the sword in the series finale because she just really overall wanted to clear her conscience more so than just doing the right thing. That's what I felt like. I could be wrong, so you guys chime off in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. I really want to hear what you guys thought about the Shades of Blue series finale. It was crazy to me. Now, also, I believe the series finale was a little underwhelming. With the pace of the entire series from season 1 up until now, it was just so, give and take, back and forth. You're sitting on the edge of your seat. And so we go into episode 10 with Woz being on the run because they're saying that he's involved with the cartel. Of course, he's been set up by the corrupt leader of the intelligence unit, who's also sitting on the board at Harlee's deposition that she put together for Cole to actually be a witness. Now, Cole, he was a detective who was a part of the intelligence unit. They wanted to kill him for what he knew, and so he was held up in a motel where he was safe for the time being, and Harlee had everything set up where he would come and give his testimony at the deposition instead of her being the one to have to do it. I wanted to just slap him so hard when they pan to the scene where they show him actually going and getting on a boat and he's going wherever so that he can escape the whole thing. So he changes his mind about giving the testimony. So Harlee ends up going ahead and doing it in his place. I thought, honestly, this is where I was completely wrong. I really thought that Cole would have a change of heart and show up. This guy is a real punk. I don't know exactly what he was afraid of, but the fact that Harlee was there to help him along the way, she was there to also be a witness to the things that he was saying. I felt like he could have come back in and you know, gave his side of the story, but I feel he was the complete opposite of Harlee. He did not want to fall on the sword. He did not want to end up in jail for any of the things that he had done. And of course, for him to be there and testifying on, you know, the things that has happened in the intelligence unit would also mean that he tells his role in the things that has happened. And he himself killed his fellow detective in the intelligence unit due to the leader prompting him to do so. It was between him or the other guy in who, I guess you can say, gave up important information. So I feel like he just did not want to pay the cost at that time. And I think this can go two ways. And of course, this is a show, guys. But I'm thinking in my mind, if this was a real scenario, life will always catch back up to us. Karma is a real thing. So I don't think he would ever really be at peace with the fact that he walked away from Harlee and allowed Harlee to fall on the sword when she didn't do half as much or as many corrupt things as, you know, her leader was and his leader or himself. You know, I don't think Harlee has ever just really flat out killed just for the sake of killing. You know, all of the things that she's had to do has been in the defense, you know, to protect herself. And her case, of course, was brought up with the diner incident that happened earlier season 3, where Cole's partner was killed in that diner in a mass shooting, and she basically went running after what she thought was a suspect who turned around, and at the time she knew Stahl was in New York. She just had this hunch, and when he turned around she thought he was Stahl, so she shot him, you know. And it would be one thing if that story was not true, but it was very much so true. Okay, so another thing that I look forward to them doing for Harlee before the show ended, which I was very disappointed that they didn't do it, was that the FBI would come to her defense in her situation. Harlee took a plea. Another thing I was disappointed in is they never said how long she would be in jail. So you ride this whole thing out. You see Harlee lay on the sword for her team and everybody else, but you don't know for how long. I would have preferred personally, and I know everybody's like, you know, you can't always have a happy ending with the shows. I'm not necessarily looking for, you know, butterflies, roses, and flowers with a perfect bow. But the thing about it is, I felt like because we followed Harlee for so long and we went through this with her, you know, in the sense of watching her go back and forth with all these guys, these corrupt departments, you know, I figure, well, either A, the FBI would come to her defense because they did leave her hanging high and dry. There was an FBI agent who was corrupt in their unit who was helping Stahl and abetting Stahl while he was still in New York, while she was denying that he was not. So it was clear that Harlee's life was in danger, as she had just killed Stahl the night before this deposition. So the girl's been going through some things. So I'm like, y'all are really gonna let Harlee go to jail? Seriously? You know? And so I felt like that would have been a nice little turn of events. Or they could have, after Woz killed the leader of the intelligence unit, the corrupt one. Yes, he ended up going to jail because of what Harlee said in her depositions and the recording that she played in her depositions. So he ended up going to jail, and Wozniak ends up killing him en route to his, you know, to wherever he was being sentenced to. Okay. I felt like I don't know how I felt about that part. It was so Woz though, so I'm gonna give that to him. I do like Wozniak in some sense of the word, but when it comes to corruption, Woz is corruption. Seriously, you want to root for the guy. He's been through some things, but he's not a good guy. I appreciate that he backs his team, but he will also kill his own team if he finds out that they're turning their back on him, or giving up information. You get what I'm saying, or quote unquote snitching. So I don't know how I felt about that. I feel like Woz could have left him alone, let him go on. Yes, this man is very corrupt, but I felt like he would have gotten his by the hands of someone else, opposed to it being Woz himself after Harlee has done all that she's done to kind of get over, the things that she's going through, falling on the sword for the team. That was a way to kind of clean things up for the team. And here Woz is standing on the transport bus, and killing this guy. It really made me mad. So I didn't like that part at all. But right after that, we're thinking that the show's just going off. I'm like, I know good and well they're not going to end the series finale like this. And so then it flashes forward 2 months later, and then Woz is driving Harlee to the location where she'll be rendering her full sentence. So here she is putting on her orange suit, and I'm thinking, this is going to change. This is going to turn around. Somebody's going to come in and say, yes, although you did this, and that, we found that your reasons of doing all of these things were valid. You were under a lot of pressure. You had someone who tried to murder you. I really thought that this was going to turn around, and I also would have wanted them to do a flash forward to Harlee now after her sentence. She may not have been a detective anymore, which I highly doubt she'll get her detective shield back, but then she could. Things can turn around. You never know. Just as Woz said, a lot of the her fellow officers actually wrote up a character evaluation for her, siding with her. And he said it was basically an apology from the department because she really was trying to do the right thing. And what they say is that wall of blue, once it turns against you, you're out there alone, even though you are a cop. So that whole you can't turn on your fellow man thing kind of went out the window when she gave up the information on the intelligence unit. No one knew all the things that they were doing and the power that they did have. Do I feel like Harlee could have let Woz take care of it the way that he was doing it, because he was already in negotiations with the cartel and did return one of the drug lord's sons back to him? Do I feel like she should have let him handle it? Probably not. I do side with Harlee on that front, that she really wanted out of the dirty business. I also feel like Harlee wanted to take her power back as well. I feel like she's a very strong woman, and she may have felt like over the series that she's lost power, and she's given her power to so many men, including Woz, which is why they had such a war in between them to begin with. She, especially here in season 3, she was just like, you know what, I'm not putting up with you, Woz. I'm not going this route. I'm not going to go the corrupt way, so she took care of business the way that she saw fit to do so. So I don't feel like she should have let him take care of it. I don't mind that she fell on the sword, but I just feel like it could have been done a little better than her actually having to do physical time for it. I mean, out of all the people who should be in jail, I just feel like, not that Harlee's the least of them, but she's down a very long list of people who should be in jail before her. You know what I'm saying? So the show ends, the series finale ends with Harlee sitting in her jail cell, and she does give off a nice little, slight smile, grin, no teeth necessarily, but a smile of relief that she is now settled. She's behind bars. She's, I guess you could say, at peace with her decisions. So that's when the show actually goes off. Now, as Woz was saying to her when he dropped her off, if you get into any problems, he'll end up getting Tess and putting Tess in jail, to help her through, to get through her sentence, which Tess is a ride or die. In my previous review and my only other review of the Shades of Blue series, I stated, and this was season 3, episode 9, I stated that I didn't know if Tess was really going to turn on her team or not, but I felt like Tess was very loyal. I didn't feel like they could just corrupt her. The intelligence unit came up to her and offered her a certain amount of money. And at the time, Tess is going through things. She's a divorcee. She's a single mother. She has a lot of bills piling up. And then not only that, they took her detective shield, hers and Tufo's, and put them back in the SWAT cars. So they were, quote unquote, walking the beat, as they say with the cop lingo. So Tess, I was really like, I hope she doesn't take the money. I really didn't feel like she would have, but you never know when people have reached their breaking point. But I felt like Tess was just too loyal to take that route. So here in the season finale, they did show Tess actually, crash her car. Then she beat her head up beside the steering wheel. And next thing you know, there's this guy following them. He gets out of his truck and he takes the drug lord's son out of the car. And then, they go on about their merry way. He throws a number in Tess's car. That number is to something, some type of item that is put up somewhere in hotel somewhere. And she gets the item, which is full of money. It was a little change pouch. So it was full of money, and so she got the money, and I'm thinking, no, there still has to be something to this. I just felt like Tess would not turn on her whole team and corrupt what Harlee was in the process of doing as well. I just felt like it wouldn't be right, and I would have bust Tess up if she would have done that. I feel like I would have went through the TV. So it was good to see that Woz was actually in on it at the end, and he made sure that she sold the story right. That someone was telling her he hit her, she hit the wall, she hit her head, she blacked out, and here we are. So he also gave Tess the money that the corrupt intelligence unit paid her to do that. Wozniak made sure that it went to Tess so that she can pay her bills. And I felt like Tess was very much relieved at the same time. I do believe that Tess and Twofold were one of the 2 loyal ones in the whole group. They were willing to go to bat for these guys no matter what. And I think that they handled things with a lot of class. In between all of them, I felt like Harlee and Wozniak may have been at the top, maybe, of, kind of shielding the rest of the team from, the biggest corruption roles. But at the same time, we just saw Tess a few episodes ago actually electrocuting a girl, or doing whatever torture to get answers from her. So it was just a hot mess. So Tess is willing to get her hands dirty as well, and has. So like I said, it's just hard to say who should go to jail over whom. I feel like what Harlee did was admirable, but at the same time, it was just hard to watch. I felt like someone should have came to her defense, and Woz is just too radical. He's out there somewhere, so she wouldn't have liked how he dealt in business to get her out of the situation she put herself in. So I didn't think she wanted to give him the opportunity, but there were some people carrying badges that clearly could have stepped up for her. And once again, I really do wish we had known how much time Harlee was actually doing. If you guys end up seeing it and maybe I missed something, then let me know. But I'm pretty sure I didn't see any information on that. Cole never showed back up. Unreal, but he never showed back up. And you guys know Cole is played by Nick, and I want to say Wessler. Nick Wessler from Revenge. He was the love interest of Emily Thorne on Revenge. He was the one who owned the bar. I was kind of shaky when he he appeared on the show, I'm like, I don't want to see anybody from Revenge coming over to Shades of Blue and rubbing off some of that juice that they left on their show, because they could have went down in history as my favorite show. I mean, not that they're gonna care that they didn't go down in history as my favorite show, but you know what I'm saying. So Cole never showed back up, so we never know what happened to him. And the show just, ends with Harlee being ending up in jail. So what happens to her daughter is that her daughter is left with Woz and his wife, which just goes to show how dingy Harlee is, because as much as I want to really get on the whole Woz, Harlee, father-daughter scenario, Woz is not the one you want to leave your child with. Now, yes, would he protect her? Yes. But he just does some crazy stuff. He is just too unhinged for a child, to be in his presence. Maybe I would have left her with Tess, maybe. I think Tess would have been a better option than Woz. Just saying, more motherly. And then again, Christina probably would have been bored with Tess. I don't know. And she's grown up with Woz all her life, so I understand the whole family dynamic. But if you're calling yourself cleaning up your life and going the straight and narrow, you do not leave your child with somebody who's still corrupt. I'm just saying. So overall, I'll rate the season finale with a 5 out of 10. That's just me keeping it neutral. I did not love it. I did not hate it. I'm sad to see the show end. I believe that they had a lot more story to tell. I'm going to be looking maybe for some interviews or something with the cast to see what their thoughts were on the series finale. I am super, super glad that they did end the Stahl. I was going to call him Shaw. The Stahl storyline. And him going out the way he did, I believe was pretty artistic on the writer's part. I felt like after all that Stahl had put Harlee through, it was just only right for her to take him out instead of the FBI. But it would have been a cool twist and turn for the FBI to take him out as well. Do I feel like maybe Harlee taking him out was a little too clean? Maybe so, but because I feel like we haven't really seen the FBI do their jobs the whole series. Stahl was theirs. They couldn't handle him when he was with them. They couldn't handle him when he was away. So it was just a hot mess. There was one more character I wanted to mention. Let me see if I can get his name. I want to say Matt. I'm trying to think of the other character I wanted to talk about really quick. I'll probably have to mention him in another video because I have so many names going through my mind right now. But either way, at the end, we see Tess and we see Twofold get their badges back. And they are welcomed by their fellow detectives. And Woz is standing up and cheering and clapping, which was really hard to see because, honestly, it was just like, seeing Harlee in jail, seeing them, go on about their life and no one else is losing anything was really tough. It was really tough. And honestly, I don't think I had a character I was rooting for per se. I just felt like with Harlee's story, she wasn't the worst of them. I was rooting for her to get rid of Stahl, and all of the things that has transpired here in season 3. I can't say that I've had a favorite character though this series. I think overall I like the overall story in general, with everybody together, all the different back and forth, all the corruptions amongst the police, all the, the moral standards, all of that good stuff that's playing a role in this series. I felt like it was very well written, but I can honestly say I didn't have a favorite character. Not that I didn't have one that I hated either, but it was one of those things that I just liked it in general, if that makes sense. So, I don't know. But that's my review, guys. I know I was so psyched about this finale. Maybe I was anticipating it a little too much. Maybe I had already written the series finale in my mind. I don't know. But that's it, everyone. Let me tell you, we are working on the tvandpopcorn.com website. Look forward to getting updates on that in the near future. Whatever your thoughts are, give me your ratings 1 to 10. What did you feel about the Shades of Blue series finale? I would love to hear from you guys and know if you kind of felt how I felt, or maybe you enjoyed it and really liked it and thought, you know what, Harlee got what she deserved. Let her go to jail and get out, and live her life free. I want you guys to tell me what you thought about Cole leaving her hanging. Just run down the list. Tell me your thoughts. Once again, this is Monica from tvandpopcorn.com. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to hear my reviews coming up in the near future. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.